All right. So these are the 9 secrets of empowered birth. This is the entire empowered birth method. You've already learned about the 5 pillars of empowered birth, and you've got the overview of what true natural birth looks like and what you really need to focus on when it comes to getting your partner on board, getting past a little bit of your fear, and also understanding the limitations of your care provider. Now, if you want to go deeper, this is going to tell you the 9 big empowered birth secrets. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the empowered birth method and how it allows you to have that most empowered birth. And you're going to understand how to birth naturally and avoid crumbling under pressure from your partner and the medical system. So in this masterclass, this is where we're going to explore the 5 ways that your birth plan can fail. And they have nothing to do with your body's ability to birth, by the way. And I'm going to tell you what to do about it. I'm going to share the 9 big secrets of the empowered birth method with you that have allowed high-risk moms to have incredible, true natural births and get their care provider to back off. I'm also going to share the 3 keys of implementing the empowered birth method beyond the 5 pillars. So beyond the 5 pillars of empowered birth, which you can get inside your empowered birth and through this workshop, you're also going to be able to understand the basics of it. So even if you decide not to work with me any further, I want to make sure that you are well resourced and you have those secrets. So the other thing is that if you do want to work with me further, then I'm going to give you a special invitation to go deeper in and master the signature empowered birth system with your Empowered Birth Academy. And if you already purchased this training as part of the set, then you already have your Empowered Birth Academy. All you have to do if you need any support is reach out to my team, hello@empoweringmomsbirth.com. I'm happy to support you further in your empowered birth journey. But if you don't have that, if you only got your empowered birth workshop, then this is your invitation to come join us inside your Empowered Birth Academy. So the reason that natural birth is so hard to get is that you're letting your care provider make all the rules. And your care provider has been taught to gain informed compliance, not informed consent. The other thing you need to understand is truth number 2, the medical system can and will use scare tactics and coercion to gain consent if your refusal threatens their bottom line. And as I already told you in the secrets to getting your partner on board, they will use your partner against you. Truth number 3 is that even if your care provider is one of the good ones, and they are out there, they're not immune to the pressure from the medical system to comply. They really aren't. Oftentimes, their hands are tied. In fact, the midwife who was 2 years away from retirement, the only reason I managed to get my true natural birth in the first place and fight so hard in the hospital to get it and not get pushed into a C-section after the 1-hour cutoff time for pushing was because she happened to be the one attending my birth, and she didn't care if they basically slapped her on the wrist at that point, because she's like, I'm retiring anyway. A younger midwife who was only newly certified would not be able to do that. They would not be able to advocate. And when you understand that there are OBs out there even that disagree with the medical model of birth, but they still have to toe the line and push things that they really don't agree with, when you understand that, you realize what big mess we're really in here. And that leads to truth number 4, that even if you hire a doula for backup support, that plan can still fall through. In my case, my doula, she ended up having a family trip, and I went into labor right when that family trip came up, so she wasn't there. And the second time, my doula was there, but she was also trying to get the midwife to back off while simultaneously trying to get me into labor. So she was aware of the political aspect, but the way that she was doing it was screwing up my birth. Not on purpose, but it was stressful. And you need to also recognize that you could wind up with no support at all if your partner is relying only on your doula. Because what if your doula gets thrown from the room? Because the medical system doesn't like them and they basically say, oh, you're a troublemaker. We're going to kick you out of the room. Because if you are birthing in the hospital, they can do that. That leads to truth number 5. If you are not confident and you crumble under the pressure, and your partner is also afraid, the medical staff will take control of your birth. That's literally how they do it. They get you afraid, they get your partner afraid, and then they say, don't worry your pretty little head over it. We'll take care of everything. And then they pull rank. That's how the system is designed. It's operated on the basis of fear. Their fear, your partner's fear, and that is how we have a high C-section rate. If you want to avoid that, you're going to want to pay attention to the empowered birth secrets. So first of all, you need to understand about being the birth visionary. It looks like sitting with your feelings and processing them first, then you bring them to your partner. You can predict, but not project what their fears might be, and you make a plan to address those things as they come up. You make no assumptions and come to them without having any doubts that they love you and want you to feel safe and protected during and after your birth. Then you inspire them into your vision and get them to sell themselves into playing your hero. Then you honor their fears and feelings, and you can sit with them, but not buy into them, so they can let go and follow your lead. This is what you need to do with your partner to get your partner on board. The next part after you've got your partner on board by being the birth visionary is you need to sit with all your feelings and process them first as a birth consumer, and you decide what your first choice is for your birth plan, your dream birth, your birth vision, and you tell your care provider only that plan. Then you expect there to be pushback. And you know it's coming from their fear, not what's true for you. You also remember that you are hiring them and they provide services. You get to pick which tools and expertise you want them to share with you. You remember that regardless of their usual practices, you are the one deciding how things will go. You can decline anything, literally anything. Remember what I said way back in the training on avoiding the bait and switch. Anything. You also need to remember they've never done this before. And you need to see this as a way to inspire them to be better for you and for future clients they have. You actually have a responsibility here by being the birth consumer, because how do we change practices that aren't working for us? Well, we tell them what we really need, and then they change the way that they do business because they don't want to go out of business. This is the same thing. You are literally going to create more supportive care providers by inspiring these ones that are maybe a little resistant, maybe a little afraid, but they do believe in birth autonomy. They do believe in your rights. They are not the type of care provider that only got in this for the money and to control women and to abuse them, but actually did it because once upon a time, they were a little boy or a little girl who said, I want to help moms have babies because I think that that is a wonderful thing to do. And I want to make sure that I'm part of that experience. And I really want to help people and make the world a better place. Those kids grew up, they went to medical school, and they got crushed. Their dreams got crushed. By being the birth consumer, you can help them regain their dreams. And then in return, they can help you get yours. So basically, here's the thing though, is it all comes down to releasing all of that fear. And what you learned in the overcoming fear training on day 1, it's good, but it's not the whole thing. There is so much more to it in releasing your fears. And you also need to be able to embody that confidence to go into the medical system and be like, this is my plan. Are you going to support me in it? If you still don't feel confident to do that, then you're going to want to pay attention to the secrets and how to get deeper into the Empowered Birth method with your Empowered Birth Academy. Because even if they believe in your ability to birth without interference, if they're in the system, they have to adhere to certain rules, and they may not be allowed to tell you all your options and rights. So you have to be resourced enough to not only see the bullshit, but also be resourced enough that when they say those things, when they say things in a way that's like they seem to be knowledgeable, they seem to know what they're talking about, and I'm starting to doubt myself, and I really don't want to put them into any like difficulties here. You need to read between the lines, which is what I did with one of my midwives. She literally said, if you go back into labor and you call me, I will have to assess your progress. And if you are not far enough along, I will have to consult the OB. And then the OB is going to tell you that you need to come into the hospital. You have to have a home birth transfer. You're going to have your waters broken, and they're probably going to want to get things moving. Because if you don't get things moving, if you keep going back in and out of labor, it could stress your baby out. And then there's a possibility that she's not tolerating labor well. There might be an actual problem. Now, this sounds scary, but I was able to stay from a very calm place and ask the question, how is my baby doing now? And she said, your baby's fine right now. But if you don't know how to ask those questions and you have not been able to work through and process those fears properly and advocate for yourself, then you won't be able to read between those lines. Because sometimes care providers have to tiptoe. They can't outright tell you, you can say no to this test. Because if they say that, then the administration comes down on them. You have to understand that. So, here's the thing, the Empowered Birth secrets. Secret number 1, when you are no longer afraid, no one can pressure you. Secret number 2, when you're no longer afraid, that is when you can become the birth visionary. If you're still afraid of birth or afraid of crumbling under the pressure, you can't see that beautiful vision. That's why I said, make sure you've gone through that workbook. If you need to go through this program a few times, absolutely do that, because it will help you. You might get some new insights. And if you do have your Empowered Birth Academy, or you choose to enroll in your Empowered Birth Academy, you're going to be such a powerful birth visionary, because I've seen it with my clients. I've shown Jenny how to do it. She has been like the most phenomenal birth visionary I've ever met. And she was one of the first ones to test my entire system at the level that is inside your Empowered Birth Academy. Secret number 3 is that when you're no longer afraid, you trust your instincts and you stop believing the cultural and medical narrative about your body and your birth options, and you create your own options instead. This is the other thing, is that you don't want to go off the menu options like I talked about when I was telling you how to write your birth plan. Instead, you want to create your own options. So when you're no longer afraid, you trust your instincts, you've stopped believing what the society and culture and medical system says you can have in your birth. And instead, you're like, what do I actually want? Oh, yes, I want this, 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 this. Forgetting about what's possible, but instead creating your own options to get it. Secret number 4 is that when your partner is also no longer afraid, then they can protect you and that birth vision. So it's really awesome that you can have that vision yourself and create your plan. But at some point, you're going to start to wonder, am I crazy? If you have a partner who is fully on board with your vision, they can be like, no, babe, you're not crazy. We're going to do this. And they are going to stand for your dream. Because when your partner knows their role is to protect your birth space and ensure your wishes are honored, they feel more confident about standing against the medical system and going, you shall not pass. And then your doctor can't do their thing of saying, oh, but bad things will happen. And your partner's like, uh-huh. Yeah, I'll get right on that. I'll tell her. And then they're like, yeah, no, babe, like they're trying everything, but we're not doing this. Like now we're gonna really show them. This leads to secret number 6. When your partner stands as your hero, how does that make you feel? This is going to lead to a more connected, secure relationship long term. And this will transfer into them showing up as a more involved spouse and parent to your children. So, not only does your Empowered Birth Academy and the methods that I teach on how to get your partner fully on board as like your protector, not only does this work for your birth, but after the baby is born, after you've had a few setbacks with mother-in-laws and with other outside influences, and your partner is standing there and they're being told all things like, oh, she should stop breastfeeding, or maybe you should do this. And instead of crumbling under the pressure of the family unit of their past, they're like, yeah, no, we're going to do things our way because my wife has a much more like powerful vision for our future, and I'm in that direction. Or it'll get you more dates. It'll allow you to have your partner take you on more dates. And finally, with secret number 6, this also allows you to inspire other people around you. And if you do have the partner who is abusive and you recognize you need to have them leave, reach out to me because I have secrets on that as well. And there's some inside of your Empowered Birth Academy on getting those kinds of partners to listen, because there's a whole other method that I use. But here's secret number 7. When you're no longer afraid and you understand the limitations of your care provider, you will have more confidence in declining all those routine tests and interventions in birth, because you automatically know that, yes, they have to do their due diligence. Yes, they're going to recommend this, but you have the advocacy skills. You've worked through your fears. You've got your partner on board, and you're like, I got this. I'm the birth consumer. I'm powerful. Secret number 8 is when you recognize that you're hiring a service, you also show up differently with your appointments and in how you interact with your care team. So you're like, I am fully resourced. I have all the power that I need in order to say no to this care provider. No matter what they say, I know I'm the one hiring them. And you do show up in more power. You change the dynamic. They are no longer at the top. You are. Secret number 9 is that when you can sit with your feelings in any moment and stay out of fear when the pressure is really on, this confidence in your ability to birth safely will also snap your care provider out of their fear, and they'll leave their ego at the door and drop their agenda. Now, this doesn't necessarily work with a narcissistic care provider. That's why your partner's there to protect you, and that's why you don't hire the narcissistic care provider. But we're looking at the care providers who are really like, they have this need to control based on fear, but it's not based from a place of malice. And you can turn that fear into your advantage by basically flipping the script and showing them, I understand. And here's my way. And let's try this. And I understand that you have this experience, but wouldn't you like to have even more skills that you can tap into and be even more well-renowned? And you know what? You can even probably do this with a narcissistic care provider, because I have taught the skills of dealing with a narcissistic partner. So if you want that, again, your Empowered Birth Academy has it all. Now, as I said, if you want to try to do all of this on your own, you can. I have given you enough with your Empowered Birth workshop, and you could go and get my book, Your Empowered Birth. You can go and follow all of my social media channels. You can watch all of my videos. You can stay on my email list, and you could probably piece together the entire empowered birth method and figure it out on your own. However, this is the most time-consuming way of doing it because there is so much. There are so many nuances. There are so many different scenarios that can come up. You do have the option of reaching out and asking questions, but even then, at that level, you're still going to have to ask a lot of questions, and you might not get the responses that you need in that moment because there's just too much. And you would probably be better off with one of the other options if you truly do need that help and you're like, you know what, this is too much to piece together on my own. Even with all of these resources out there, it's just, I want it faster. So this is the slow method of getting all of the system. As I said, go and read all the blogs, go and watch the videos, go read my book, do all the exercises, go through this empowered birth workshop again with a fine-tooth comb and pull out all of that information. And you'll probably be able to get an empowered birth because it's all out there. And if you want it faster, you don't have time for that. You're a busy mom. You're like, no, I want the fast one. Here's the fastest way. This is option 2. Now, option 2 is not readily available. I'm just going to tell you that. But option 2 is the fastest way of getting the empowered birth system because it comes with one-to-one coaching with me or one of my team members to personally support you in your empowered birth journey. This is a customized plan. We look at your birth vision. We look at all your empowered birth workshop exercises that you did in your workbook. We look at your overall situation. We go through the 5-pillar system. We figure out where you might need to optimize. And then we create a customized plan for you to follow that will help you to best get the kind of birth you want. We don't give medical advice. However, we can also guide you and direct you to resources that can help you make decisions. And we can give you the tools to advocate with your particular care provider or to talk to your particular partner based on who they are and what I can see in psychology. It'll be either myself or one of my team members. However, this is also a very, very pricey option. This is also an option that requires a lot more intensive work in the front end. So you would be meeting with us every single week. You would also have message support and email support with our team. And you would probably even be able to work with me, although I don't take everyone on as a client anymore. I'm really focused on my family. I'm really focused on spending that time with my babies and growing my family. So I don't take more than one client on each year. So if you want that one-to-one coaching, it might not even be available. My team members might also already be full. This is also why I created your Empowered Birth Academy, because I recognize that as our time constraints get like smaller and smaller and more people and more demand comes in for these programs, I needed to be able to get it out there as a self-study. So that's why this is self-study with a little bit of support. Now, if you do want that, you can reach out hello@empoweringmomsbirth.com and see if you can either get in or get on the wait list. I'm happy to support you where you're at. If you do want that coaching, though, it does come with a higher price tag than what I'm going to be offering you with your Empowered Birth Academy. So I'm just going to preface that. Which is why option 3, which is the middle ground, which is a fast method, it's self-study. You're able to get through the trainings within 5 days or less. And you're also able to get the full Empowered Birth system. You can do the work on your own. You do get some message support. You also get to have a one-on-one coaching call with me or one of my team members. It's just one-off. and we will look at your full birth plan and all of the exercises that you've done. If you want that, then your Empowered Birth Academy is the affordable version of the one-to-one coaching. So this, again, is proven, it's reliable, it's easy to implement. And as I said, you also get access to message support through the self-study. We're committed to you having an empowered birth. We want that for you. So this is for you if you want a completely natural birth and you don't want to fight an uphill battle to get it. You're tired of being told that you're not allowed, and you're sick of being treated like you're broken until proven capable. You need to be under 35 weeks or not yet pregnant, but planning to be within the next 2 years to be able to implement the system properly. If you're already 35 weeks, then you need to be reaching out to us, and you need to apply for maybe one-to-one coaching, or maybe there's a group coaching offer that we have going on. We don't always have that, but we might have that on offer when you go through this program. If you're already over 35 weeks, please, please reach out. I will make sure that myself or one of my team members goes over your birth plan very quickly. Just make sure that you put in the subject line over 35 weeks, or even put in the subject line your actual week that you're in, so that we know, oh, this is urgent. We're going to look at this one right now, because, we get a lot of emails, and I want to make sure that you get that support when you need it most. Now, the last one, this is for you if you're willing to do the work and take your power back. Now, here's a caveat. If you want to get into your Empowered Birth Academy and do it at the rate that I'm going to disclose to you, that is only available for your Empowered Birth Workshop graduates, then in order for us to know that you're willing to do the work, you need to show your completed workbook. That's the catch. So what are you going to learn in this 5-step program? You're going to learn how to spot the natural birth traps and find the loopholes so you don't get tricked out of your true natural birth. You're going to learn how to optimize the 5 pillars and get the birth you really want and create your safety net. You're going to learn secret techniques that get your partner to know how to advocate for you without them having to read a bunch of books or watch a ton of videos. And you're going to learn the ninja master move that gets your care provider to stop pushing back on your birth plan and actually support you. And finally, you're going to have your fail-proof birth plan method for a hands-off birth. Now, the thing is about these ninja master moves is they actually come from a high-level relationship coach. She calls it MLK, which allows you to basically say, I have a dream, and then this enrolls your partner in your dream. Now, this method is like, it packs a punch. And I teach that inside your Empowered Birth Academy because it is the secret that I use to get the partner enrolled in the birth vision of my client, including hands-off home births, including unassisted home births. Like, even if they were resistant before, I use this method and it's powerful, and it gets them to do the thing that my client wants them to do. And then I've also used the same method in a slight tweak with care providers. So a formerly resistant care provider suddenly becomes the biggest cheerleader when it comes to the kind of birth that my clients want. So in class number 1 is when you're going to learn the true natural birth secrets and avoid true natural birth traps that undermine your confidence. I'm going to share with you the loopholes that you need to understand, how to read between the lines with your care provider so that you're like, oh, this is what I actually want to do. And it's basically looking at the advice that you're normally told on how to have the natural birth or how to navigate that system and doing it the proper way, the empowered birth way. Class number 2, we're going to work more on getting past your fear for good. No matter how many scare tactics are used against you, no matter how much pressure is on you, no matter how little time you have, you could do this in 5 minutes. by the time you master these skills, you'll be able to get out of your fear, even in the middle of an appointment where your care provider is trying to push you into an induction. In class number 3, you're going to learn how to teach your partner how to advocate for you, even if they're freaking out about something going wrong, even if they happen to be category number 5 and trying to manipulate you and push you into things you don't want. You'll be able to see that more easily, which will then help you to see the gaslighting and abuse and coercion that you might not have noticed before. And hey, even if you happen to have an amazing relationship, your partner is not that kind of person, you'll still be able to see it with other people that maybe might be taking advantage of you or taking advantage of your kids. So you can pass those skills on to them. Class number 4 is getting your care provider to follow your birth plan, even if it's against standard of practice, even if they have so many policies that say it's not allowed, even if they happen to be the most resistant, most stubborn care providers out there, because I have used the same method with a couple who went to a hospital that was so anti-natural birth, and they still managed to have a vaginal birth after 3 previous C-sections in that hospital using the skills that I teach inside Your Empowered Birth Academy. And then class number 5 is a bonus. It's creating your fail-proof birth plan without having to read a ton of birth books or research all your options. It's a deeper dive, goes into your backup plan, and it also helps you to have a hands-off birth. And that leads me to Your Empowered Birth Academy, which you've been hearing about through this entire Empowered Birth workshop. But here's the thing. Normally, Your Empowered Birth Academy combined with Your Empowered Birth workshop is $597 US. But because you already have Your Empowered Birth workshop, if you do not already have Your Empowered Birth Academy, you're sitting there and you're like, but I only need Your Empowered Birth Academy. And that is why, because you are an Empowered Birth Workshop graduate, your Empowered Birth Academy pricing is only $297 US. So instead of paying $597, you're actually going to save as a special gift to you for going through this entire Empowered Birth workshop, doing the work, getting through your workbook, graduating from the program. Because remember, in order to get this special Empowered Birth workshop pricing, you have to have proven that you graduated from the program. And graduation means that you went through your workbook and you've got your birth plan and your birth vision. And then we're going to look that over. We're going to see what mistakes might be out there, if you've got any. If not, then awesome. You're already well on your way. And if you want Your Empowered Birth Academy, you just reach out to my team, hello@empoweringmomsbirth.com, mention Empowered Birth Workshop Graduate in the subject line, and then we will give you the special code to get Your Empowered Birth Academy at this special pricing that is only available for Your Empowered Birth Workshop graduates. I love to over-deliver on value. In addition to Your Empowered Birth Academy, I've also got a special mini course called Get Past Your Fear in 5 days or less. This is already a $97 value. And I'm also going to give you a deeper dive on getting your partner on board in 5 days or less. So these are little mini courses that you can go through in addition to Your Empowered Birth Academy. So I really packed in the value for you. So if you already have Your Empowered Birth workshop and you're like, wow, there was so much in here for the price I paid, now you're also going to get that with Your Empowered Birth Academy. Because as I said, I'm committed to you having an empowered birth. I will give you everything that I can possibly give you to make sure that you have the self-study method to be able to get an empowered birth. And even if there's something else and you're like, you know, this is great, but I need one more thing, one more step, tell me, tell my team, write to hello@empoweringmomsbirth.com, and maybe we'll add that. Maybe we'll even add that as a gift to you personally for helping to co-create that idea and put it out there for the rest of the empowered birth community. So go again to get your special discount code by contacting us at hello@empoweringmomsbirth.com and be ready to show us your completed workbook, because remember, I reward action takers. So if you want this, if you want to have your Empowered Birth Academy for only $297, with the $297 bonuses of getting your partner on board with your birth plan in 5 days or less, to have more communication with your partner and be able to avoid fights and be able to also possibly use that same skill to get them to do other things for you that you want them to do. Don't use this for evil. I'm just going to say that. Don't use this for evil. These pack a punch. And same thing with getting past your fear. Don't use these skills for evil. I'm trusting you here. I really am trusting you. But if you want all that, you got to show your work. So complete your workbook. Show me that you are ready to take action on your Empowered Birth Academy. And then reach out. hello@empoweringmomsbirth.com. Subject line, Empowered Birth Workshop Graduate. And we will be there to help you and support you. Thank you so much for going through your Empowered Birth Workshop. I am so proud of you. And not only that, but you didn't just finish the workshop, you also went through this bonus part of the training. And if you do want to go deeper, you can go and get your Empowered Birth Academy. And I can't wait to hear your Empowered Birth story. But even if you choose not to go with your Empowered Birth Academy, if you already feel complete, then when you have your Empowered Birth, please reach out, hello@empoweringmomsbirth.com, and write success story and tell me how your birth went, because I would really love to know how the system worked for you. All right. So happy Empowered Birth Planning. I am so proud of you. You are now an empowered mom for life. And just keep following in the community. Make sure you are following the YouTube channel. Make sure that you are on our social media channels. Make sure you tell others where to get your Empowered Birth Workshop and pay it forward. Have an amazing day or an amazing night, whatever time you're watching this. And I will see you soon. Happy birth planning.